Hello, Magpies. Let's talk about Alexander Isak, the man who's been tearing up the Premier League and proving why Newcastle United is the best club in the world, while other clubs may be dreaming about signing him. We've just made our stance. Crystal clear, he's not for sale. And if anyone wants him, they better be ready to pay a world record fee. Isak has been on fire this season, bagging 17 goals and 5 assists in just 23 Premier League games. He's not just scoring goals though. His all-around play, his ability to drop deep, link up with teammates, and create space has led many to call him the best striker in England right now. And let's be honest, they're not wrong. So, with that kind of form, it's no surprise that the so-called big clubs are circling around like vultures. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester United, even Real Madrid and Barcelona have all been linked with our Swedish sensation. But let's be real for a second. Why on earth would he leave the best club in the world to go and struggle somewhere else? Reports have suggested that Arsenal see him as their dream signing. But let's remind them of something. Newcastle isn't in the business of selling dreams. We're in the business of winning games. The club's owners have no intention of selling and are actually planning to build the team around Isak. He's the present, and more importantly, he's the future of Newcastle United. That said, if anyone is foolish enough to even think about making an offer, they'll need to break the bank. At first, Newcastle was valuing Isak at around 130 millimeters, but now 160 million, a price tag that has only been matched twice in football history. Neymar's move to PSG, 198 million, and Mbappe's 163 are the only ones above it. Now, does anyone really believe that Arsenal, a club that hesitated to spend 105 millimeters on Declan Rice, is going to cough up 160 million for Isak? That's not happening. And Chelsea, they're more interested in buying young players on long contracts for small fees. So they're out too. Liverpool could be a threat, but even they haven't spent that kind of money on a single player. And Manchester United, they already spent over 100 million on 2 struggling strikers, Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, who have just 5 league goals between them. If they want to add another striker to their collection of expensive disappointments, they better start saving. At the end of the day, this isn't just about money, it's about ambition. Isak isn't just another forward. He's a player who is helping Newcastle challenge for the Champions League and leading the line in our push for silverware. With the top half of the Premier League being so tight, every goal he scores pushes us closer to our dreams. And speaking of that, Isak will be looking to get back on the score sheet this Sunday when we take on Nottingham Forest. A win could send us back into the Champions League spots, and that's exactly where this club belongs. So, let's get behind the team. Let's back our striker, and let's remind the rest of the world. Newcastle United is not a selling club. We are a club on the rise. All right, Magpies. Let's switch gears and talk about something that's been the hot topic of discussion. Our goalkeeping situation. Martin Dubravka has been our number 1 for most of the season. But after that brutal 4-0 loss to Manchester City, there's a serious debate about whether it's time for Nick Pope to return to the starting Sappermol. Now let's give credit where it's due. Dubravka stepped up when we needed him. When Pope suffered that knee injury, Dubravka grabbed his chance with both hands and put in some fantastic performances. He was solid, made some brilliant saves, and honestly, kept us in a lot of games. But then came the City game, and let's just say, it wasn't pretty. 4 goals conceded, questions over positioning, and suddenly, a lot of fans are wondering, is he really the best option heading into the Carabao Cup final? Ben Foster, a former England goalkeeper, certainly doesn't think so. He recently said that when you're playing a big game, like the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool, you want your strongest possible XE. And for him, that means Pope should be starting. Foster makes a strong point. Against a team like Liverpool, who are going to bombard our box with crosses, think Mo Salah floating balls in, Virgil van Dijk attacking every corner. We need a goalkeeper who commands his area, and let's be honest, that's Pope's biggest strength. He's a towering presence, a brilliant shot stopper, and far more reliable in the air. While Dubravka is great with the ball at his feet, Pope is the kind of keeper who wins you trophies. Now, Eddie Howe has a huge decision to make. Does he reward Dubravka for his service this season and keep faith in him for the final? Or does he bring back Pope, get him a few games under his belt, and make sure we have our absolute best team out at Wembley? One thing is for sure, this weekend's game against Nottingham Forest could be the turning point. If Howe is thinking about starting Pope in the final, he needs to get him match sharp, and that means giving him minutes before Wembley. But on the flip side, dropping Dubravka now would be a massive statement. It would send a message that despite all the work he's put in, he's still seen as a number 2. That's the kind of decision that could shake a player's confidence. So what's the right call? If you ask me, we have to go with Pope. This is a cup final, and we can't afford any weaknesses. We need the best possible team out there. And when it comes to goalkeepers, Pope is simply the better option. What do you think, Magpies? Should Howe stick with Dubravka or bring Pope back into the starting Sathams? Either way, we've got some massive games coming up, and we need every single player to step up if we want to finish this season strong. That's it for now, folks. Stay passionate, stay loud, and as always, how way the lads?